Hi and welcome back to my channel. I am Mary and I'm going to be talking about something that we all hate, and that is blemishes, pimples, zits, things like that, and how to best cover them up with the least amount of makeup and to make it look the best without texture, without discoloration, and just the simplest process. So if you're interested, keep watching. First and foremost, you have to assess what stage your blemish is in. Okay, so if your blemish is new, then it's going to be very fresh. The skin's going to be probably kind of oily or a little bit moist if you've picked it. I never do that. Just kidding. I try not to. But if you have picked the zit, or if it's very fresh, then you're going to need to dry it out first things first, okay? So you can do that in a couple of ways. The first way you can do it is getting a little alcohol pad and just rubbing it on the blemish, and that will help to dry out the area. The second and my most favorite way is to use a setting powder. This is Vanilla Dust setting powder that's part of my compact. And I just take a really fine point brush. This is actually the spot brush in the demi line. And I just apply that setting powder directly to the fresh zit. This is a zit of mine that no makeup will stick to it. And be sure to brush off the excess powder as well. Now, if the blemish is 2 or 3 days old, then it's probably shedding some skin because the new skin is coming, there's a scab, it's a whole healing process. In that case, if your blemish is 2 or 3 days old, then you need to exfoliate that blemish. You need to get all the dead skin around the blemish off. Now, don't exfoliate the blemish itself unless the scab is gone and it's fully healed. It's just got a little bruising and discoloration left. Just exfoliate the dead skin around it so that you can make sure when you apply the makeup that skin will be gone and you will have as little texture as possible. Then be sure to moisturize your entire face, including the blemish area where you just exfoliated. This step will ensure that you will have very little texture as well. It will help your makeup to stay smooth and seamless, and also to be able to put the makeup on and have no bumps and no problems. So don't skip this step. This is going to be a very big game changer when you are applying the makeup to your blemish. Now it's time to put makeup on. I'm putting a very, very light layer of my highlight, aka foundation color, on my jawline mustache area. And I'm just going to blend that in. Again, this is a very light layer. I don't want it to show up. I don't want it to add texture to those blemishes, but I'm just putting a little coverage on there. Next, I'm putting some bronzer on. This is all part of my 5-minute summer routine, my makeup routine. I'll go ahead and link that below so you can see that. And then, of course, put some bronzer on the forehead. And then the next thing is I'm putting my blush on. So I'm putting all of my makeup on, and I'm going to do my under eyes. I'm going to make sure all of the things that I want covered to be covered, and a very, very, very light layer. And then my eyeshadow, and I'm going to set it with some powder. After I'm done with all that, I assess and see what is left over. There's a few blemishes that are still poking through because, again, I have a light layer. I'm just pointing those out to you, what I can see and what's distracting to me. I'm selecting the darker shade of my 2 highlights. I'm going to use a really fine brush. I'm going to dip into that color, and I'm choosing the darker highlight color because oftentimes we will put a lighter color on our blemishes and it just looks terrible. It just brings that distraction out. But as you can see, it just completely makes mine disappear. I could have actually gone darker because during the summer I'm a little bit darker. I could have used amber, but candlelit worked pretty well today, so it worked out. Then I'm just going ahead and pinpointing some of those blemishes that are still poking out. And again, just using a really fine touch and very, very, very little makeup because I want as little texture as possible to show up on my face. I don't want any bumps, and because we did all the steps before, you're not going to see any texture from the dead skin or any of that. Finally, set with a powder on all of the areas that you fixed. And that's it for today. I hope that helps you with your blemishes and finding ways to cover your blemishes because they are such a pain in the butt. Give it a go. Let me know how it goes. I would love to know how it worked for you. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you guys next week. Bye.